This year, I'm going all in on systems and not goals. It's the beginning of the year. A lot of people are talking about resolutions, and there's a lot of skepticism around resolutions, and rightfully so. We get started on a new idea or a new thing that we probably came up with on New Year's Eve and decide that that's going to be what we achieve for the next coming year because we have to have something to move towards, right? Now, I, for years, have set goals, and I feel like most of the time I achieve a goal that's realistic. Sometimes I set goals that are unrealistic, but I've gotten better at setting goals that are actually achievable. Now, the problem is that I haven't had a good way to manage those goals and really track the momentum. But not just that, but when I get sidetracked or when things don't go the way I planned, what is the alternate plan so that I can keep moving forward towards that goal? Systems are what keep us moving forward. Systems have things in place to make sure that we can keep going, even if we are derailed or we end up having to take a different path. A system is a set of ideas and concepts that are going to help us get to that finish line. A goal can be kind of ambiguous. We don't really necessarily know how we're going to get there. We just know what result we want. Perhaps it's lose 15 pounds or get that promotion at work. Well, that's great. I know that in order to lose some weight, I'm going to need to start working out and eating better. But what happens if I'm on that path and then I get derailed? And most of the gyms are full of people because they all sign up at the beginning of the year. And then gyms are really busy through January. And then there's the drop off. And by the end of the year, there's hardly anybody at the gym. And that's because it's easy to get derailed on a fitness plan. When you start out to do something like lose weight, it's easy to start going to the gym for a while. But then maybe your knee is sore and you decide to stay home for a couple of days, or you get sick or something like that. That derails you from that habit that you were starting to form that isn't quite formed yet. And so because of that injury or that derailment, whatever it is, it's hard to get back into that momentum. And we also feel defeated as well. And if we feel defeated, that's just end of game right there. So putting a system in place and actually thinking about those things ahead of time. What happens if I hurt myself and I need to take a week off? What happens if I'm out of town and I don't have access to fitness equipment? What happens if I end up overeating on a weekend and I feel really gross and have to skip a couple of workouts because I just, I can't get myself there? Like, what is the plan? Now, if you've already thought about what you'll do if you get derailed and plan for that, because it's probably going to happen. I mean, if you've tried to lose weight before, if you've tried to do these different things before that we end up setting as goals for us on a new year, you've probably done it before and been derailed many times. And this time is maybe different, you're feeling, or maybe you're feeling discouraged at, I've tried this many times before and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. But this time it will be different, because if you think about all the things that have derailed you in the past and then even go on a search for more things that could potentially derail you, and you come up with a plan of action to solve for each of those problems, then you're not going to be derailed. Yes, you may get set back a couple of days. For example, I ate a lot over the holidays and gained a few pounds back, and then really just hit it hard after the holidays and lost that weight again. And now I'm back on track. When the holidays come around, all the different good foods and sometimes eating out more often, it's just tempting to indulge a little bit. And we feel bad about indulging, and then we feel bad after we've indulged. But if you've already decided that it's okay if you eat a bit and you're just not going to do it the next day, you've already made a decision as to what's going to happen. It wasn't an accident. You ate a little bit more during the holidays because it's the holidays, and that's fine. But you told yourself it's just that day and maybe some leftovers the next day, and then I'm getting back after it. And you've already prepared yourself for the potential to overeat, because if you're like me, it's just sometimes you can't help it because there's too many good things and you have to try a little bit of everything. At least that's what I was told when I was a child. So planning and putting systems in place is much better than creating a goal, because it gives us a way to actually execute and deal with the different situations that come up along the way. So when you're thinking about how you're going to achieve those goals this year, think about it as a system that you're putting in place so that you can achieve the goal, not just the goal itself. There's the goal, that's the title, that's the header of this system, and then the system is what's going to happen once you get started. What's going to happen if you get derailed in these different ways? How are you going to get back on track? How much time are you going to give yourself if you're feeling bummed out or whatnot? We have to give ourselves those things so that we have time to deal and feel and all of that stuff. But then we need to jump back in and get back started. Make sure that you set milestones as well so that you can celebrate the different milestones along the way. If your goal is to lose 15 pounds, make sure you're celebrating when you've lost the first 2 pounds and the first 5 pounds, and then maybe the 10 pounds that is getting you really close to your goal. If you have milestones set in place, you have achievements to unlock along the way. And then if you want to take those goals even further, set stretch goals so that when you achieve the goal, should you achieve the goal faster than you planned, you can say, okay, I already know what's next. I know that I just lost this 15 pounds. It took me 3 months or whatever, and really I want to lose 25 pounds. Well, now I have my stretch goal, and I don't have to come up with a whole new goal. I don't have to change my plans. I haven't gone back to my old ways because I've lost the 15 pounds. I have that stretch goal in place, and I know that the next step now is 25 pounds. So it's all mindset, really, and it's about planning and thinking through these things ahead of time, because the number one person that's easiest to trick is ourselves, and we don't want to suffer, so we end up putting off the short-term pain of re-engaging ourselves, which essentially leads to long-term suffering anyways. So do the hard things ahead of time by telling yourself exactly what's going to happen if these different situations take place so that you know what to do, and the step of making the decision to do it is already done. All you have to do is follow the plan. So who's with me? Who's going to set up some systems this year instead of goals? And let's achieve some things here in 2023. It's for sure been a challenging decade so far. Let's change that. Let's move forward. Let's get after it. Let me know what you are setting up a system for in the comment section below.